Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, and thank you for watching today's midday weather outlook for the southern region, brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. Well, we just begin by looking at the last 3 days of total accumulated precipitation, and much of the southern region was kind of out of the way of some of the bigger storms that we saw over the last couple of days, especially yesterday. We did get some storms that kind of came around this ridge, so you can actually, it's kind of neat. You can see the flow of the atmosphere by looking at the trajectory of the storms. Kind of see how they're doing something like this. Well, they really came through parts of the Corn Belt hard, moving through parts of Illinois, but some of the storms did finally get down into parts of Alabama and Georgia here, and produced some severe weather reports. You can see right down here in north central Alabama some of the wind and hail reports. But again, like I said, a lot of the main action was up here in Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa, really chasing us out of the fields as we're trying desperately to get this crop planted. Now, as we progress forward and we kind of just see how things are going to shape up, the story is told in the flow of the atmosphere. And it is just locked and loaded in a pattern that's doing this for a while. And that strong branch of the Pacific jet stream that breaks over this large ridge that just keeps dominating parts of the southeast is the name of the game, possibly into the very beginning of June. And every time we see a flow pattern like this, the atmosphere just really gets, what I say, juiced up here. Now look at what I'm talking about. This is now the surface flow for today. And you can just see that around that large ridge sitting over the southeast, we are just pumping moisture right back into the center part of the United States. And that is the moisture on which these thunderstorms that you're about to see me forecast are going to feed. When I just look out and I see system after system kind of curled up out here in the Pacific, this is just the wave train that's moving into the West Coast that, again, is invigorated by the Rocky Mountains, again, which are just right over here. And that just, well, it initiates storm system after storm system after storm system. So when I say juiced, check this out. This is a map showing dew point temperatures. For a storm chaser, what we are most excited about is when our dew point temperatures get up into this color, which is at about 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which means you can see even, early in the morning, the atmosphere was still just on this strong southerly flow, and we have a lot of very humid air in place. Watch this though. I'm just going to animate it for you just so you can see. The main play is going to be where the dry line sits. So this is a common feature for those of you that aren't over in the Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Kansas area. The dry line is this amazing front where extremely hot and humid air meets hot and dry air, and that density difference serves as a trigger. Look at the dry line moving back and forth there across West Texas. But everywhere out ahead of it, we just don't shut off the moisture pump. Look at this. This has just got you all the way out here to the beginning of the day on Sunday, and we can just see where all that moisture is going. So we're going to initiate storms. By the time we get through the next 5 days, the national blended model really tells the story. Systems hit the west, dip down into a trough, raise up quickly into a ridge. It'll only be hit or miss scattered showers and thunderstorms under the heat, and I do mean heat. We'll see multiple days over the next 5 to 10 days deep into the 90s there in the southeast. So we'll get storms to pop, but all the main lift, all of the main action is going to be right back here parked into the central part of the United States, the southern part of the United States. That is the part of the southern region that's really going to get hit pretty hard here. Now, just showing you the next 4 days from the Storm Prediction Center here, and it goes beyond 4 days, our severe weather risk. This is what we're watching for on Friday. Down here in parts of Texas, we're going to watch west central Texas for the initiation of some storms early today that are going to progress through the middle part of the country. Middle part of the state. We have an enhanced risk there in Texas already, and so this is going to be an event where we're going to have to watch throughout the day to see where the storms initiate, and then continue to do what I brought up in our videos this week. We're going to have to nowcast this. You cannot forecast very well for thunderstorms. We have to live in the moment, nowcast them, see where they're going. I'll give you my best estimate, but we're going to take a look at this in a minute, but it'll be a nowcasting event. On Saturday, which is what's shown to you over here on the right, we will see the main front progress to the east. So it'll be over in this area, which is why it's going to be parts of Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas. That same corridor just there west of the Mississippi River, that's going to be the highlight. On Sunday, the severe weather risk really translates a bit to the north here in the Corn Belt, but you can already see the atmosphere kind of reloading back here, such that by Monday, again, we're watching this same region. So you notice how we just never get get this all the way to the southeast, that's what that ridge is going to do. It's going to just basically set up a wall, preventing any of that from getting over there, and it's going to be protective. Now, when you look out here over our temperatures over the next 5 days, that's what's over here on the left. The atmospheric pattern is just revealed. I mean, you can see the cooler air sitting in the trough here, and then that large ridge dominating things over the southeast. And again, look, days 6 through 10, the pattern just isn't changing. It is locked into this pattern and taking you all the way out to days 11 through 15. Can you still see it? It's right there. So we are going to continue, as I've been reporting on for the last couple of weeks here, we're going to continue to pick up a lot of these heat units, a lot of these growing degree day units. We're already way ahead of average in the southeast, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. These anomalies are over time. And I expect what we see here to stay true over in parts of Texas, Oklahoma, where due to cloud cover and due to precipitation, things are technically behind. Although, when we think about all the precipitation we've had, vegetative health looks very, very good where we're not flooded out. So bigger picture there. We'll finish with the bigger picture ideas on these two images here on this slide. And this is just the next 15 days. And what do we see again? Look at the sharp divide right in through there in both the European over here on the right and the GFS over there on the left in terms of precipitation anomalies. So we're just looking for where it's wetter and where it's drier. And I have mentioned multiple times that I'm impressed with how well in agreement our ensemble models are at this point, picking up on this pattern. So let's now dig into a few of the details. I want to play for you here the high resolution rapid refresh model. And it goes hour by hour. It's our highest resolution model. And we're going to watch specifically in Texas to see where the storms will blow up, but you'll also see under the heat of the ridge sitting over here in the southeast, storms do pop today. So let's go ahead and click play on this. We're getting through the middle of the day, Friday afternoon, evening. It's really the evening and overnight hours where we really see things really starting to shoot up there in central Texas, right there. So that is going to be the time period that we're going to watch most carefully. So let's get that down, figure out when it is. Throughout the day, just clouds building. You're going to see lots of cumulus clouds building in the afternoon. You can already see by mid-afternoon the thunderstorms popping here over the southeast. So this is all hit or miss. We're going to have to wait until we get going in the day to see where the storms blow up. You can then watch on radar to see if they're going to come toward your farms. What do we see? This is now Saturday evening. So it looks like around 6, 7 o'clock, we're going to watch this region right here for the storms to initialize. And then once they get going, they'll be outflow dominated. And what I mean by that is the storms put down a downdraft. The downdraft rushes away from the storm. You've probably felt it. You've been near a thunderstorm where all of a sudden there's this big blast of cool air. That is the thunderstorm's exhaust at the surface. It's breathing, and it sends out this flow, and it will be new storms forming along the outflow of old storms that dominate the convective type. So you can see the storms here progressing through central Texas over toward the Dallas-Fort Worth area into Saturday morning, and then eventually on Saturday, remember our severe weather threat translates here into eastern Texas and Oklahoma, but Arkansas, Louisiana. And so that's kind of your short-term view on this. Let's now stretch this out using the European model. We'll click play here and get ourselves all the way through Saturday midday. So we've gotten up to this point in the forecast. You can see there goes the storm Saturday midday. They make it over toward the lower Mississippi River Valley. But notice they try to get by Monday to the southeast, and what's the ridge do? Shuts it down. It's not as though you won't get any precipitation, but the ridge shuts it down. We reload back to the west again, as you saw on Monday, and there goes round number 2. Very windy, a bunch of moisture on this one, progresses Monday through Wednesday from Texas over toward the lower Mississippi River Valley. But the ridge protects again the southeast. Here we go again. This is now next weekend. It just keeps doing the same thing. We aren't able to shake this pattern, it looks like, until we get maybe into the first week of June. And what am I talking about? Well, here we are. This is day 10, and we still see the atmosphere advertising that flow pattern. This is day 15. And about the only clue I have for any sort of a shift, and I am not confident in this, is all the way out here in the first week of June. And we just see a hint, although it's not the best hint, that the ridge that was parked over the southeast, well, it's just not showing up quite as robustly. It's just not there in this long-range European model forecast, which just came out late last night. And what do we see? Well, we do see a ridge here. and I kind of get a trough there. So it would make me think that we would go back into that pattern, but you just don't see the amplitude. In other words, it's not doing this. It's kind of doing something more like that. Now, there's a lot of there's 51 model runs in this, which means they're washing things out a little bit. I'm just trying to make a point here that it is telling me something's different. Now, even with this flow pattern, keeping this corridor active and wet, that is there. I mean, I know you don't see it here in the precip anomalies, but that flow pattern does that. I can actually see it a little bit better by looking at temperatures. You can see this cooler pocket in here. That's that. But look, we still kind of hang on to that warmer bias here over the southeast. And so I'm trying to understand this pattern in June, but the atmosphere is not giving me the best clues to try to really pinpoint it down. We got ideas, but pinpointing it down, well, that'll be my job over the weekend, and I'll keep a close eye on it, and we'll get you those updates next week. So be prepared if you're in the southeast for some heat, some pop-up thunderstorms in the south central states. We are just going to be dealing with round after round after round of severe weather. With that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this forecast video. We Nutrien Ag Solutions hope you look forward to our next Southern Region forecast. It'll come out on Tuesday morning. But in the meantime, we'll have a lot of updates that'll show up on our website, my.nutrienagsolutions.com, all of next week. I hope you all have a great weekend. We'll talk to you then. Thank you.